Story kicks off in London, 1904, inside the Darling family home. Upstairs, Wendy is with her parents and her two younger brothers, John and Michael. The boys are in full pirate mode, swinging wooden swords and acting out the swashbuckling stories they all love. But tonight feels different for Wendy. It's her last night as a kid. Starting tomorrow, she'll be sent away to boarding school. Wendy doesn't want to leave home. She doesn't want to grow up, or let the world decide she's too old for bedtime stories and make-believe. So she joins her brothers one more time, playing pirates like always, until something gets knocked over and broken. Their father storms in and scolds them all, but Wendy gets it the worst. He tells her she's getting older now and should start acting like it. Their mother follows, trying to soften the moment, gently telling Wendy that growing up isn't the end of happiness, that life can still be beautiful. Wendy isn't convinced. She says it plainly. "I don't want to grow up." Later that night, the house goes quiet. Wendy, John, and Michael are asleep when something magical slips into their room. Peter Pan arrives from Neverland, along with his tiny fairy companion, Tinker. Tinker sprinkles fairy dust over Wendy, and Wendy starts floating like gravity is turned off. She jolts awake, panics, and drops down. John and Michael wake too, and in the confusion they grab Tinker, thinking she's some strange little creature. Wendy looks closer and realizes the truth. This is a fairy. Then Peter steps into view like he belongs there. The kids recognize him from stories, but seeing him in their bedroom is unreal. Peter says he came because they made a wish to never grow up. And because of that wish, he's here to take them to Neverland, where nobody has to become an adult. Before they can even process it, Peter realizes his shadow has gotten separated from him. He starts chasing it around the room, and Wendy and the boys help, turning it into a frantic little mission. In the middle of it, Peter pauses and says he feels off, like something isn't right. John suggests maybe he needs a kiss. Peter stares, confused. "Kiss? What's that?" Wendy, half amused and half awkward, hands him a small silver object and tells him, "This is a kiss." Peter accepts it like it's treasure. Now it's time to leave. Peter tells Wendy, John, and Michael they're going to fly to Neverland. Tinker's fairy dust makes them light enough to rise, but Peter explains dust alone isn't enough. To really fly, you need happy thoughts, good memories, bright feelings, the kind kids still have before grown-up stress takes over. They lift off from their bedroom and soar into the night sky, Peter leading them forward until London disappears behind them. They arrive in Neverland, endless ocean, scattered islands, a world that looks like a dream. Wendy, Michael, and John are stunned. They're inside the story now, but the magic comes with danger. Captain Hook rules these waters, a pirate captain with a terrifying reputation, a ship always watching and hunting. One of Hook's men spots Peter and runs to report it. The second the man says, "Peter Pan is back," Hook shoots him without hesitation. Hook steps out with Mr. Smee at his side and orders the cannons prepared. The cannons fire. Peter treats it almost like a game, but Wendy and her brothers don't understand the danger yet. They hide behind a large rock while Peter casually explains what's happening. Then Hook fires again. A cannonball smashes into their rock, and the explosion throws everyone apart in mid-air, scattering them. In the chaos, Tinker gets separated, so Wendy and her brothers lose the fairy dust that was keeping them safe. Wendy, John, and Michael fall straight into the sea. Wendy later wakes on a beach, dazed and alone. No Peter, no John, no Michael. She climbs up to look around when a group of children suddenly surround her. They're rougher than normal kids, like they've been surviving out here for a long time. One of them, a girl, sees Wendy crying and asks why. Wendy admits she's lost her brothers. At first, the kids suspect Wendy could be a trick because Captain Hook often sends people to hurt them, but Wendy explains, Peter brought them here. That changes everything. They know Peter, so they decide Wendy isn't an enemy, and they agree to help her. Out at sea, John and Michael aren't so lucky. Before they can reach land, Hook's pirates spot them in the water and drag them onto the ship. In front of Captain Hook, it's obvious. This man doesn't just dislike kids, he hates them. Hook coldly tells Mr. Smee to explain the rules of the ship. Smee starts listing them, but Hook barely listens, staring at the boys like they're insects. Then he notices something in Michael's pocket. A watch. Hook snatches it out and breaks it on the spot. He has an intense hatred for ticking clocks, and even the sound makes him angry. Then he orders their punishment: death. In Hook's mind, Neverland isn't a place where children get to survive. John and Michael plead, insisting Peter is their friend, and Peter will come for them. Hook only smiles. Meanwhile, Wendy ends up with Peter and the Lost Boys. From the cliffs, they spot Hook's ship moving toward a dark cave the Lost Boys recognize instantly. They whisper Hook uses it for executions, and he's already killed people there before. The proof is still inside. Wendy panics. If Hook is heading there, it can only mean one thing: John and Michael are about to die. So Wendy and the Lost Boys race for the cave, trying to reach it in time. Inside, the pirates march in singing a grim death song like it's a celebration. The cave is cold, dark, and full of old remains. Wendy's group hides and watches. Hook's men clear space near the back, and Wendy sees skeletons, people killed here before. Then John and Michael are dragged forward and chained to a huge stone. Michael, eyes shaking, asks what they did wrong. Hook answers with zero emotion: "Your children." And in his world, that's enough. Wendy watches, helpless, fighting tears, while the pirates laugh and enjoy the boys' fear. Then something strange happens. Hook notices a new pirate in the cave. Fake beard, different clothes. He squints, steps in close, and demands to know who this man is. The pirate rips off the disguise. It's Peter. He came on purpose to save the boys, and he isn't scared of Hook at all. With Tinker zipping around him, Peter moves like the cave can't even touch him, snatching pirates up and tossing them into the water like they weigh nothing. Hook charges in with his sword, and they clash hard, steel screaming, blades flashing. Hook still can't beat him, and that's what makes Hook snap, because Hook doesn't just want Peter dead. He hates what Peter stands for: the eternal child, the world. Hook can't control. While Peter keeps him busy, Tinker flies to the chains and frees John and Michael. The boys stumble back, alive, but Hook is still right there. So Hook changes tactics. His eyes lock on Peter's shadow. He strikes at it, and in that split-second shock, Peter loses balance and falls. Hook steps in to finish him, until Wendy calls out. Hook freezes like he just heard a ghost. He hadn't even noticed Wendy. He turns, stunned, asks her name. Wendy answers, and that tiny distraction costs Hook everything, because he steps onto something alive. A crocodile. A massive one. Chaos erupts. The crocodile tears into Hook's crew, biting, dragging men under, swallowing a few whole. Hook barely escapes, sprinting away as his ship turns into screaming panic behind him. Wendy, Peter, and the Lost Boys make it out alive. Peter starts bragging like it was all fun. Wendy snaps. She slaps him hard and yells that they could have died. Her brothers could have died, and he treats it like a game. Peter genuinely doesn't get it. To him, in Neverland, danger is play. He leads Wendy, John, Michael, and the Lost Boys through the jungle to their home, an old, hidden fortress like a ruined castle tucked away from the world. We're also introduced to Lily, part of a red-skinned tribe. She doesn't live with the Lost Boys, but she's Peter's friend. Her people ended up in Neverland years ago, like they were suddenly transported there. Later, everyone gathers by the fire and asks Wendy for a story. Wendy smiles and says maybe Peter should tell one instead, how he got here, how he knows Hook, what happened between them. Peter shuts it down, refuses. So Wendy starts asking the questions he hates most. How long has this been going on? None of the kids grow up here, but in the real world, some of them would be old by now. Do they miss their parents? Do they remember their families? Do they ever plan to go back? The room goes quiet. Peter's face hardens. Then he storms upstairs without answering. Downstairs, the Lost Boys keep calling Wendy Mother, not like a joke, but like they barely remember what a mother even is, and Wendy is the closest thing they've had. Wendy sings them a lullaby. One by one, the kids fall asleep, and far away, even Hook, still stranded on the islands with his crew, hears the lullaby drifting through the air. It hits him like a memory he didn't want to feel. That night, Wendy goes upstairs to Peter. She finds him alone, sad. She asks what's wrong. Peter admits he thought they'd be great friends, but now they only fight. Wendy gently asks about Hook again. Were Peter and Hook friends too? Peter still won't explain, but the questions stay in his head. Wendy returns downstairs, and her blood turns cold. The Lost Boys are tied up. Hook and his pirates have invaded the hideout. Wendy gets grabbed too. Hook storms around like he owns the place and goes hunting for Peter. Peter, distracted and lost in his thoughts, senses someone entering. Hook kicks the door in, furious, shouting that Peter always hid here, always slipped away. But Hook isn't stupid anymore, and this time, he finds him. Peter tries to stop it. He says he doesn't want to play this game anymore. Hook doesn't care. He attacks, knocks Peter down, and before Tinker can help, she's caught too. Without fairy dust, Peter falls hard, slamming into the ground. Wendy and the Lost Boys scream, convinced he's dead. Even Hook looks shocked, like he can't believe he finally did it. But he doesn't waste a second. He orders all the children taken back to the ship. And with Wendy and the Lost Boys as prisoners, Hook sails away, believing the only person who could stop him is gone. Except Peter isn't completely gone. His shadow is still alive. It slips away from the hideout and races to Lily's tribe, like it's screaming for help without a voice. The tribe understands instantly. If the shadow is here alone, Peter must be in danger. Lily and her people run with the shadow, following it back. Meanwhile, Wendy and the Lost Boys are dragged onto Hook's ship and locked in the prison below deck. Soon Hook comes down himself. He tries to talk to Wendy, but she refuses to give him anything. Then Hook says something that rattles her. He admits he heard her humming that lullaby, and it feels familiar. For the first time, Hook doesn't look like a monster. He looks like someone remembering a life he buried. He starts telling Wendy his story. He says he wasn't always like this. Once he claims he and Peter were friends, but Hook missed his mother, so he chose to go back to the real world, and when he returned later, he had grown up. Peter hadn't changed, and Hook believes that becoming an adult was the moment everything broke, the moment he became what he is now. For a second, Wendy thinks maybe there's still humanity in him. Maybe he can still be saved, but Hook's face hardens again. Too much time has passed. Whatever child he used to be, he's forgotten him. Hook orders his crew to prepare to kill everyone. Wendy breaks down, begging him to stop. She offers herself instead, saying, "Kill her, spare the boys." She even tries to speak Hook's language, insisting the boys could grow into strong pirates one day, useful to him. Hook doesn't care. Hook gives the command, "Prepare the girl, throw her into the sea." Back on the island, Lily and her tribe find Peter, badly hurt, but alive. They treat him until he wakes and he learns the nightmare. Without Tinker, he can't fly. He tries, and nothing happens. For the first time, Peter Pan feels powerless. Lily pushes him forward anyway because Wendy and the kids don't have time. On the pirate ship, Wendy is dragged onto the deck and thrown overboard. Hook orders the crew to watch, expecting her to drown, eager to prove he still controls Neverland and the children completely. The pirates wait for the splash, but there isn't one. No scream, no water. They lean over the edge, and Wendy rises back up into the air. She's flying. Hook stares, shaken, asking if Peter's magic has entered her. Wendy snaps back. It isn't his magic. Then she hits him where it hurts, saying his men may die for their captain. But without a ship, what kind of captain is he? Right then, the entire ship lifts. The pirate ship itself starts floating, held up by fairy dust, because Tinker, still trapped inside a box, is flying it and spreading dust until the ship becomes weightless. Panic erupts. The Lost Boys fight back, and then Peter arrives. He jumps onto the flying ship as it scrapes cliffs and rocks, dipping too low while the fight rages. Hook throws everything at him, desperate to finally end Peter Pan. But Peter isn't using any cheat this time. He fights like a real boy, and he wins. Hook slips and starts to fall. Peter catches him anyway, grabbing his hand and trying to pull him up, because deep down, Peter still remembers they once mattered. Peter begs him to think of something good, a happy memory. If he can, even Hook can fly. Hook, James, meets his eyes and admits the truth. He has no happy memories left, no good thoughts, nothing. He lets go and falls into the ocean. What's left of his crew follows, defeated. Afterward, Wendy finally says what she's meant from the start. These kids deserve more than endless fighting and endless play. They deserve parents, love, a real home. They deserve to grow up. Peter resists, but Wendy reaches him, and he agrees. Using Hook's flying ship, Peter brings Wendy and the Lost Boys back to London, to the Darling home. Wendy's parents are shocked, but they take the children in and adopt them. The Lost Boys finally get a family. Wendy says goodbye. Peter and Tinker return to Neverland, and the story closes back on the island, where Hook is still alive in the shadows, watching. When he sees Peter return, something almost like happiness flickers. Like this rivalry is the only thing that still makes him feel alive. And that's where it ends.